Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna create an app that's first we create a model of data and we will save that model in our local storage in our device in JSON format. So what's the advantage of this? It's actually give you a ready to go class by the name of data manager that you let you to with calling its functions say you save your data inside your device and you can keep it for example like settings and it's a model of data so you design it yourself. And always you can find link to our GitHub in comments. And yeah, so we can start. So output gonna be something like this. You will see that's title, and here you will see some data. That these data actually saved inside this app. If I delete this app, this data will go and disappear. Okay, so let's start our project. So file, new project, so single view app. Yeah, I choose it and I name it as yeah, and yeah, actually I check mark all of this. We don't need this. Let me remove them. But I want to be create a GitHub repository and I save it not in interview. Yeah, I save it in Learn iOS Swift. Great. Okay, so as we know, when we start, we will have a main storyboard and we will have a view controller, which is connected to this main storyboard. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a model right away. So here I click here and then click add and I say new file, and this file is gonna be Swift and I name it main model, for example, and create it. So it's gonna be import foundation right away, and I created my model in structure format. So I just say struct. So for name, I just name it main model, but here I make it codable. So this codable let me later to convert this model to JSON and reverse quickly. So I put a title for that from type of string and details from type of string, for example field of completed from type of boolean, and created at from type of date, and finally item identifier from type of UUID. So what is UUID? Here you will see that is a universal unique value that can be used to identify type, interface, and other items. Yeah. So yeah, this is gonna be my model properties, and now I need to make some function or attribute for that. So first one I want to do is save item. Oops, already we have this, no parameter input and no output. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna save. So I just here to do save. I can't do it now because first I need to make my main class that helped me to save this on local, because here I can save this on, for example, cloud or whatever else. So the other one for delete, item, and yes, it's gonna be to do delete, and there is another function. I can do it and say mark as completed. This one is not really required now, but I make it because later maybe I just want to give you an idea how you can change attribute by function. This one gonna change one of these variables. So because we are inside struct, I need to mention here that this one creates change, mutating. And also I will write a function by the name of toString. So this function will convert my model to a string. This is something that I use it for my user interface, and I do this right now because it's not, it's not need any other classes. So what I do, I need all of this to be a string. Okay, so here I just say output plus equal title and this one plus self title plus \n. So it means that in string says go to the next line. So I want to make this for detail, completed, created, add an identifier. So yeah, detail, completed, created at identifier, and at the end I'm gonna return this. Okay, but I will get error here because these are not a string. These two I can easily, with the dot description, I can convert them to string, and for identifier I just type UUID a string, so it's going to be a string as well. So here inside my model I just can convert it to string by this function. Okay, so this is our model, but we need a class. I name it data model, data manager. Here I just I used the plus here, but now I use this file, new file, and Swift. So what's the name? Data manager. Okay, data manager. So you can just copy this data manager, this file inside your app, and then later you can use these functions. So for this one, I make a public to be available for others. Class by the name of data manager. And inside this class, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a static file private. So this is the static, but I make it file private to be available only for inside this file. Okay, and function, by the name of getDocumentDirectory. So this is only available for inside this one, and return URL. So this one give URL and only available for inside this file, but it is static, so we can call it with the class name. We don't need instance for that. So get document directory. Okay, so what I need to do here, I just say if you could make this variable URL, actually this constant by the name of URL from what? So file manager, okay, dot default. Let me just show you what is this default. So default return share file manager object for the process. Okay, so default, and I use this function URLs. Okay, and this function has 4. So file manager search path directory, so document directory. So for document directory, and in dot userDomainMask. Here we go. So this one, if this one was able to return, then what are you gonna do? I return URL. But this is gonna return an arrays, because if I look at this, I don't know if now show me type, no, not at this one because I use if, but this one gonna return an array of URLs, so I just pick up the first one. Okay, and so if I was able to find it, actually if I remove this first, here we will have an error. So what is this? Just say initializer for condition binding must have optional type, not, here you go, an array of URLs. So I just say yes, first one, just first one for me. If it was able to get that, return it. If not, So what I'm gonna do, I just do fatalError with message unable to access document. Okay. Okay, my second function gonna be save any kind of codable objects. So any kind, this is important. So again, a static function name save, but I say any kind. So here I use this generic, yeah. So I make it generic function. So I use EnCodable. So T type of T with EnCodable, and I returned get object from type of T, and I just read file name string. Okay, so this one gonna be save it. Do return anything? No. So how it's gonna be? Again, I just say let's URL equal. Now I use this function getDocumentDirectory. So we get this, and then append this path component. We're gonna add to it what? Our file name. I think I need to choose another. Okay, file name, and is directory false. So it's just there is not directory, it's a file. Okay. Then I just say let encoder. Our encoder equal is JSONEncoder. So I make this encoder, and now again I just say if FileManager.default.FileExists. So if file was exist. So first of all, I check if this file exists. If it was exist as at this path, which is URL.path, what I need to do? I need to remove it because I want to write new one. Okay. So I just say try FileManager.default.removeItem at URL. Okay. If I found it. Otherwise, no, I don't say otherwise. So if I find it, I'm going to remove it, then I continue. Anyway, I will continue. File manager, not file name, file manager dot default dot createFile at url.path content or data and attributes gonna be new, but this data, not this data, data like this. Okay. Yeah, but I think I missed one thing. Yes, actually that's why I don't have data here. So after I made my encoder, I need to start one do catch. So do catch, what I just want to start into catch. Yeah, do catch, which is fatal error with message if I couldn't do what. So with message sorry. Yeah, I don't get offer here because I don't have so let data equal try encoder dot encode what? Encode object. Yes, so I get object from here. Yeah, so from that type my object, I'm gonna try to convert this. If I was able to do that, then I'll go for save it. Yeah, so now this error should work, but now I'm gonna do this as well. Okay, so I do try and then I'll go for this and then file manager. So I got error here, just error throughout here. Okay, so URL get document, then encoder, yeah, and then I say do let data equal try encoder encode object. Okay, and then if FileManager.default.urls gonna do this and then this file. Okay, yes, so error right here not handled. Said thrown error. In case of error, we didn't handle for this. Yeah, that's true. But we use do. Oh, you know what? Instead of else, I should say catch. Yeah, so now we can go. That's why it's going to give me error. Yeah, error dot localize description. So this is gonna go, and even this one. So for either of this, if we hatch, we will send outside error. Okay, and yes, I think this is all we need to do for save. Okay, so the other one gonna be load. So now I want to load data, so I just say load any kind of data. Yeah, load any kind of data of codable objects. Of codable objects. So this is gonna be function. I use this, but again a static function. Yes, and name load. Parameter. So which kind of parameter we gonna do? First of all, it's gonna should be generic. Yeah, like this one. So t decodable instead of, because here we're gonna decode it, not encode it. And so function, again file name, some type of a string, and type. So we pass type from type of t dot type. And what we return? We return type. Okay, so inside this function, what we need to do? So first of all, we like here we get directory. Okay, so after we got the our URL, then we need to start one if FileManager dot default dot FileExists at path url.path. If a file was exist, what I need to do? I need to move forward. So instead I say if it was not exist. Okay, so here give me fatalError, because I want to load. If I don't have that file, there I'm in bad situation. So just type here file not found. Which file? This file. URL.path. So if this file, return if we couldn't find. Now it's you know, when we want save, if it will exist, we're gonna remove it and rewrite it. But now this file we want to load it, so we need to make sure it exists. Now start another one. So if let data equal FileManager.default dot contents at this path URL dot path. If this data, you could do this, you could get data of that, you can return. Yes, but if you couldn't, again fatalError. with message. Data unavailable at path. Yeah, but if it was exists, return it for me. Return date. Okay, so yeah, I cannot return this directly because I just say I returned it as a type. So now what I need to do, I need to do one do catch. Do catch fatalError error dot localize description. So now I want to do catch. What I want to do, I want to convert it to model. So I just say my model equal try JSONDecoder. Yes. So call JSONDecoder and decode what? Decode type, which I get it from up type, from now my data. Okay, if it was like this, now I can return this data, this model, sorry. Yeah, now it's correct. But if I can't, fatal error. So yeah, now I can remove this. So this one gonna return my converted data to model. So it's gonna return one model for me. Okay, and now I need another one, which is load data from file. So this is gonna be same with different signature. So I copy paste from this, and what I'm gonna do. So okay, yeah, get this one, and then check if this exists. If not, file not found. Yes, and but before everything, I need to change signature. So what I'm gonna change signature? I'm gonna change signature to only file name, but this one not gonna mention any type, and return one optional data. Yeah, so get this and check file. Okay, now it's part to return. So exactly that one that I wrote before. So this one, now I remove this do catch. Instead, I just say return data. Yeah, so this one just return data without convert it to model. So for this one, I don't need this to be generic. So this is different signature for load. And I need two more functions. Next function that we need is load all. So let me here make that comment for that. So load all files from a directory. Okay, and here it should be static, available for others without need to have instance, and I say load all. And for signature, first of all, I make generic DeCodable. We're gonna read, so decode. We're gonna decode, and here underline which broadcast this. Then I don't need to put type in signature when I'm calling that. So type from T, which is our generic type, dot type, and this gonna return an array of our model. Yeah, here you go. So what do we need to do inside? So I need one do catch. So do catch. Inside catch I will return fatalError with this message. Could not load any files. And inside do I need to do my try. So what is my try? Let files equal try FileManager.default.contents of directory. And for paths, I use function that I wrote just in top of this getDocumentDirectory dot paths. Okay, and when I do this, if find something, then I make a variable by the name of model objects equal an array of t, and I'm running so to get empty variable, and then I start one for loop from this files. Yeah, so I just say file name, one file in files. Okay, so for each file, what we do is say excuse me, model objects dot append, and inside here I call my load. With file name and type. So where is the load? For file name I use file name, and also I need to mention with type from here. Okay, so I load this, and at the end I'm gonna return what? I'm gonna return model objects here. So what this function do? This function gonna read how many files we have, get all of those files, and in one for loop, one by one, get their data and append it to an array of files and models. Okay, the last function that I need is delete. So I need to be able to delete a file, and it is easy. Static function delete file name from type of string. Yeah, so I get this and here first of all I need to make URL, so I just say URL equal getDocumentDirectory dot appendingPathComponent from path, and if the type is directory or not. So appending, so my path gonna be file name, and boolean, is it directory? No, so false. So I load that one in URL. Then here I just say if FileManager.default.urls path URL.path, if this one exists, what should I do? And if not, what should I do? So if it not exists, nothing. Oh yeah, let me remove not. If it does not exist, I'm not gonna delete anything, so we're good. And nothing exists to delete, so it's already deleted. Maybe. Okay, so I do want to do catch. If I found it, then I do catch, and of course in catch I return one fatal error with message of error.localize description, and in my do I just try FileManager.default removeItem at URL. Okay, so if it does exist, I'm gonna delete it. If not, do nothing. So this is this was the last function that was delete one file. So I save this with Control S, and then now I go to my view control. Okay, now I'm gonna use this now. So let's go to view controller, and here what we need to do. First of all, in my we know that view.load is a function that will run when we load our view, and inside view.load what I do, I just say let load main items equal. Okay, so I use the static, so now I can easily call that function. I just say from data manager, I just say class name, and then dot load all. So I get all of data exist from which type of data. Here I need to say, okay, which type it is. So I just say my main model dot self. So I say, what is the main model? Here we just made it at the beginning of our video. We create a model, so we can create any type of model and here call. This is the advantage of generic function. And when I load this, I'm gonna print it. print load main items. So now I'm gonna I try to run this app. Let's see what's happening. If I don't get any error, means that everything is fine, but still we need to find out that it's if it can save or not. So here you are, let's run, no error, and here we will see empty. Yes, that's true because we didn't save anything yet. Okay, now on top of this I start to load data in there. Sorry, save data in there. So what I say, I just say let main item equal, I call my main data model and mention title. Let's have a look here which kind of data we have. Title, detail, complete, created, and item. So here I create a title and I name it, for example, notebook. Here, and then I start to getting error because it needs to have other parameter as well. So yeah, go ahead, fix. Oops, sorry. Let's change this one to from. I don't want to do that. I want to add other information as well. So just say details. And I just say paper format and completed which is boolean, I say true, and created at should be date, so I put time being date, and at the end item identifier. And what should be data? I tell you, we put UU ID to give it a unique ID. So let's see which error we get. Incorrect argument. Yeah, created at. Yeah, I missed one R. Here we go. So, and dates cannot convert date. Oh, I put data. Sorry, here we go, date. And yeah, we are good. So what happened now? We will load one data, but still we didn't save that. We need to save it as well. So I just say main item dot save item. But let me see if I declare this function or not. Yes, save item, I put it here, but I did not say what to do. So I need to here and do save as well in there. So for save, it's easy. What I do to do save, I just say data manager dot save and object, which is self. Yes, and with what? With item identifier dot UUID strings. So I get from self I get item identifier that uses string. So I save it here. And for delete, I had function, so I'm gonna do that. So delete, and in delete I just need to mention file name, which is what? Which is item identifier dot UU. So what happened, if you remember, we saved this by identifier. So, our file name is same as our identifier to be unique. Okay, and the last function also, I'm gonna create this one as well, which is mark as completed. So this is something that right now we are not gonna use it, but I'm gonna write a function for that. So I just say self dot completed equal true, and here I just say data manager dot save self with item identifier dot UUID string. So I'm gonna save this by the file name, because in this save function here we got file name. Okay, and you will see, just I changed this one, and you will see mutating I used, because this function gonna change value of our model, so we need to use mutating. Okay, so now I came back here, and now I'm good. Excuse me. Okay, so let's stop this now and run it. Now I should get some valuable, actually one model inside this. Let's see. Here we go. I have this here. And what I do now to test this out, I'm gonna make this commented and rerun the program. So this time if I read, I'm reading from my app memory. Yeah, here we go. How many times I do, it's gonna be same. So I save the file by the file name identifier, and I'm gonna load it. So let do add one more. So this time I make, for example, new one. This one, name it like PDF book, details, PDF format, completed true. Actually, let me say it completed false. Yeah, and created at this time identifier. Okay, so now I rerun this, but and you will see my array converted to 2. Here we go. So now I have one title notebook, the other one PDF, and I make another one Word book, type Word, for example, and rerun. Here we go. Now we have three: Word, Note, and PDF. And I'm gonna comment this and run it again. And you will see we have this one. And if you remember, in my main model I made a function to make this for me as a string. I can use this as well to make my console instead of the simple print. I'm going to comment this, and here I just say for one item in load main items, for anyone, for me print one item dot to a string. So now this part should be more user friendly. Let me also close this side, make this bigger. Here we go. So you will see that I have three files saved, and I can load it, and it can act as a excuse me, my local memory for my app, only for this app. And yeah, that's it for today. And we learned today that we can create a one load manager class, and by this we can save our data in one model, and we can save that model. So after this, in my next videos, I'm going to use this to save data in my app. So after this, I just call this data manager. Just copy this in my program and I use it. You can do the same as well. Yes, that's it for today. I hope you liked the video. If you like it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, and also don't forget to be subscribed for more videos which are coming every day. If you have any question, please ask in comment below, and I wish the best for you. Have a good one. Bye bye.